What I'm going to tell you is how do we come up with the value of land that you can build and land that you cannot. Okay, so land that you can build, basically, the first thing you got to do, in terms of value, by the way, we're trying to calculate the value here. The first thing you got to look at is the zoning. Okay, basically the classification that the government categorizes your property so that way you know what you can or cannot build. Okay, now if your lot is categorized as a single family home, duplex, things of that nature, it's a lot simpler to calculate the value because odds are there's other single family homes, other duplexes, other triplexes around the neighborhood where you just grab that information, you compare it to your lot, and then you'll be able to come up with the value. It's a lot simpler. I mean, there's a process to it, but it's a lot simpler. Where it gets complicated is what you call high density zoning, which is basically where it tells you that, hey, you can build 15, 20, 25 units. Okay. Now, one common mistake that I see a lot of landowners make is that because their zoning allows them to build a 20-unit building, automatically they think, hey, you know what? I got a multi-million-dollar piece of land on a 5,000 square foot lot. Okay, well, let me tell you something. You're not going to be able to build a 20-unit building in a 5,000 square foot lot. Okay, odds are you're not going to be able to do it. Okay, what needs to happen for you to be able to build such a large project is you're going to have to get your neighbors involved, right? You're going to have to merge, buy them out, something in order to make the land bigger. So that way you're able to accommodate 15, 20, 25 units because you're going to have to fit all the units. You're going to have to fit all the parking spaces. You're going to have to fit all the common elements. There's a lot of variables into play that you're going to have a bigger piece of land to accommodate a bigger project. Okay. So a question that you may be asking yourself is like, well, then why does the government zoned my property for the ability to build a 20-unit building? The logic behind it is, so you have the option to do it up to. It doesn't mean that you can. It just allows you the opportunity to do it for the specific reason that if you, the landowner or a developer, buys that land and somehow you're able to buy the surrounding lands, right, surrounding lots, then that area, the government will allow you to build a big project. Okay? That's the logic behind the zoning process. Okay, so, and then in terms of value for land that you cannot build, what do you take into account? A couple of factors. Obviously, the size is a big one. Does it also have any kind of infrastructure, any development, meaning water lines, electricity, any kind of pumps? Also, a big factor is it on a paved road or is it on a gravel road? That's a big one, okay? Because obviously if you're conducting a business, conducting business on gravel road is a lot more difficult than on paved road. So that has an influence on price. So these are the little nuances that you need to take into account when you're trying to figure out the value of a piece of land that you're trying to build, that you want to build on, or a piece of land that you don't. Okay, if you're thinking about selling, you need to find out the value of your land, message me depending on where you're watching. Below this video, you're going to find my contact info. Have a good week.